And now, time for weekly show with a passionate India lover, chairman of ITV Gold and Parikh Worldwide Media. Get ready for loving sharing from physician, philanthropist, publisher, and India advocate in this week.
Welcome and namaskar, and once again it's that time of the week when we have the honor of welcoming Padma Shri recipient Dr. Sudhir Parikh in our show, that is this week with Dr. Sudhir Parikh right here on ITV Gold. Namaskar, Dr. Parikh.
Namaskar. Namaskar, everyone.
So, Dr. Parikh, let's start with President Trump. He is like threatening Iran with military action if they do not agree on a nuclear deal. And, you know, Tehran is responding with arming missiles for response, strikes. So tell me, are we like headed to another war front opening up?
I don't think so, because for with Iran, this nuclear thing is going on for a long time. And now it's kind of too late to stop them. Because they already built the nuclear weapons. They have that.
Okay.
And so, and by I think Trump is just saying it, is not saying it in a sense that he cannot follow up on that. There's no way. And if he try to do that, then there will be big disaster in the world, Because, if you involve Iran, then Iran, the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, and everybody gets affected, Israel get affected, and there is no end to the whole thing, and nobody knows. And Russia is supporting Iran, so Russia get involved, and so there is a big nuclear war then. I don't think he will say that, but he will not do it.
So my other question is like combining this war with the tariff war. So how will we see the economy as well as like global stock markets stabilize?
Well, tariff USA is going to declare tariff tomorrow, and he already said that every country will get at least 20% of the tariff on the goods which they export to the USA. And because all this year, all the countries are doing that. See, the average tariff on all imported USA goods is only 3%. All these years, because once the free trade, world trade started, so I think that is not good to USA in a way.
Right.
So I think tariff will be settled very easily. In the short term, there will be a kind of drop in the market, but again, as you can see, even today, market is trying to go up. So I think tariff story is already counted. So I don't think it's going to do. Other countries' stock market will go down quite a bit. Particularly India's market. For India, it's not a good idea, because India's market will go down much, because our market is not as strong as USA market. Certain European countries' market will go down fast. And they will take little time to recover. But USA market will recover right away.
But do you think like governments can take some kind of a measure in which there will be like not much impact on their economic?
They are going to do it. But right now their data says that it won't affect. Instead of inflation right now is 2%, it will be 3%. So it's not a big deal. In a sense, So for USA, but for other countries there will be a big deal, because of the strong dollar and their local currency is weak and all those things. So, for example, India will have a big deal. India's GDP will go down more, and then India and any country like India, like Pakistan, Iran, Bangladesh, all those people their economy will suffer for a year or two, and then it will settle down.
And, let's go to, Europe. We see like Europe is uniting more, and like many more summits are happening in response. So tell me, is US at risk of losing its leadership of NATO?
I don't think so, because see, European countries are very much dependent on the USA,
Okay.
because they cannot manufacture any any aeroplane, or I mean any fighter planes or any fighter equipments, or a missile or something like that. So they have to depend on the USA. So it doesn't matter. They may be kind of in short term they may not like it, because their inflation may go up, their market may go down. But short term, for a few months, I mean 6 months to say a year, and then it will recover everything. So look at that. England came out of the European Brexit, right? That European economy. England is independent.
Right.
They withdrew themselves from the European group. And you can see that after that it is almost 4 or 5 years now, and England economy is as good as it was.
Right. Right.
So it doesn't make any difference.
Doesn't. Okay. So let's move on to the Middle East. Netanyahu, he continues to escalate the strikes in Gaza, and, he vows to be like changing Middle East. So do we have a clear end game now?
Yes, I mean, eventually he cannot continue this thing. I mean, still I think there are about 40, 50 hostages are still there. And once Gaza, Hamas release them, everything will settle. But right now he's kind of bombarding it again because of that Hamas has refused to release them. Because Hamas wants something in return, saying that they cannot drive us out of our homeland, something like that. So I think that's the problem. And I think it all depends upon election in Israel. If other party comes, Democratic Party, Liberal Party comes, then everything will settle soon.
Okay. But is there any other international pressure that could kind of de-escalate
international pressure
the
is
situation?
only international pressure will work is only if USA pressure them.
Okay.
To do something.
Okay.
Because every year we provide them almost $6 to $8 billion aid, free of charge, grant kind of. So that has a lot of leverage. But again, it's a complicated thing, because in USA also the politics is such that it's not that easy to do.
So let's talk about President Trump. President Trump, he does not seem to land a breakthrough, he was thinking with his negotiation with Putin. So he's threatening secondary sanctions on Russia now. So have we evolved to a new way on how diplomacy is now being done between countries?
No, I think what President Trump is doing it is literally kind of in hurry and kind of threatening people. And that in diplomacy that doesn't work. The diplomat has to sit down and talk about it and figure it out what Russia wants and what Ukraine wants, and come in the middle somewhere. That's all it is. That's the only solution will be. Ukraine has to give away some territory what Russia has captured, and vice versa, and give some kind of guarantee that again it won't happen.
So, the question that's coming to my mind is are sanctions kind of becoming the primary tool for this, of diplomacy basically, and how effective are they in the long run?
They are not effective.
They're not?
No.
Because are they the primary tool?
There is always a way around it, right? So, for example, we put the sanction against the Russian oil, and then Russia sold the oil to India, and India refined and sold to Europe. So what is effect? There is no effect.
Okay.
On the contrary, in that process, India it was good for India, because India made good profit out of it.
All right. So let's talk about health, which I think is my favorite section. So a new study finds Alzheimer's risk rises when amount of deep sleep falls, and more Americans are having sleep issues. So what is your assessment as a doctor and, advice as a doctor?
For what? For Alzheimer?
Alzheimer.
or for deep sleep?
Deep sleep and Alzheimer, because of deep sleep, they are saying if you don't have good deep, if you can have deep sleep, there are more risk of having
No, I
Alzheimer.
think Alzheimer is not that simple disease. It's a genetical disease. And of course, circumstances around you day to day can affect you. But it's not because of the person who doesn't deep sleep gets Alzheimer.
Okay.
That's the wrong connection.
Okay.
So, but deep sleep is always important. Deep sleep is important for day-to-day life. If I don't sleep 5 to 6 hours, I mean that is less. Most of the people they sleep 7 hours, right, average. But if I don't sleep more than 5 hours, I mean less than. If I sleep less than 5 hours, next day I feel myself cranky and little, out of mood or whatever. So I think deep sleep is very important for everyone's health, and so everyone must try to sleep at least 6.5 hours for good sleep and good health.
So basically, you are saying that yes, deep sleep can be one of the causes, but there are other lifestyle changes that could impact a person and they are at a high risk of getting Alzheimer's.
Yeah, and plus it's genetical.
Okay.
And also there is some relation with the food too. I mean, there was one study I remember many years ago that people who consume the beef, they are likely to get Alzheimer more. And vegetarian people gets less, but in reality it's not that very distinct, because even in the people who doesn't eat meat, they also get Alzheimer.
Right.
So it is so many multifactorial thing. It's not one thing which causes, but of course you have to have genetically prone to have that to affect that thing, and plus you have to remain very kind of peaceful with your mind. You should know how to cut off yourself
From everything else?
not from any situation right away. Suppose if we have argument, a hot argument between us right now, but and you might say a very negative thing to me, but as soon as I go out of this door, I should not remember that. And if you can do that, that's a great characteristic one should develop.
Wow.
The President Clinton has, Obama has, and I have. And that way you always see that you are always at peace for your mind.
I mean, and that's wonderful to know that, you should be like that if you're having an argument and just take it out of your head right away.
Forgive it,
Yeah.
As we in Veda says that forgiveness is always a solution to a lot of problem.
Right, right. So there is another study that says like tuberculosis is the world's top infectious killer. And global aid groups say Trump's funding freezes will cause more deaths.
Well,
So
I mean, that's...
I just want your comments and suggestions on what developing countries can do for this.
No, right now tuberculosis are getting under well control, particularly say for India. When I was medical student, I mean every other patient was tuberculosis, and a lot of children were dying that time, right and left. We used to have 2-3 deaths every night, from tuberculosis, malnutrition, and those things. But nowadays, because of the advance in the medical treatment, tuberculosis is very controllable, provided it is diagnosed. And even a country like India or Bangladesh or Sri Lanka, the treatment is very easy to available. So I don't think what they are saying about this cut in that USAID, that is one organization used to give a lot of medicine and money for the health in the undeveloped or developing countries, and that will affect. And that's why they are saying that they will kill people will die. But it's a kind of little exaggeration about the whole thing.
But does India still have tuberculosis? Does India still have patients with tuberculosis?
Yes. India has a lot of patients with tuberculosis still.
Okay.
Yeah, because tuberculosis is a disease, it's a bacteria. You get it because of the poor ventilation, poor living condition, ventilation, poor situation, crowded. And we still have probably half of the India in a crowded situation living.
Right.
So bound to have. And it's very infectious. If somebody has one, and the whole family get it. But it's curable, it's treatable. And that's the good news.
Wonderful. So let's move on to our rapid fire round. And the first question is sent by Satya from Chicago. Wants to know, are Feds prepared for a recession caused by tariff war? Yes or no?
No, I don't think a recession is in the card. Doesn't look like that.
All right, that's a no for you. Krish from New Jersey wants to know, should foreign students be allowed to protest in US? Yes or no?
Yes, everybody should be allowed to protest because it's a free speech. Democracy has to have free speech, as long as they are doing peacefully.
Okay. Sita from New Jersey wants to know, can India afford Bangladesh aligning with China and Pakistan?
No, India, it's a very, very kind of alarming situation that China is going to help Bangladesh because Bangladesh economy right now is so bad. So they have no choice but to align with China.
All right. So you are saying yes or no? No.
Yes, it concerns for India.
Okay. Kuldeep from Michigan wants to know, will BJP get support to pass the Waqf bill? Yes or no?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
Seema from New Jersey wants to know, Modi's first visit to RSS headquarters in Nagpur as Prime Minister, just connecting to roots or creating better alignment? Yes or no?
Yeah, it's a better alignment, yes.
Tisha from Connecticut wants to know, will Trump be pushing to change laws to help him get to a third term? Yes or no?
No.
All right. That was all good. And before you give out this week's message, I want to remind our viewers that you can always follow Dr. Sudhir Parikh on Facebook at Dr. Parikh. And you can also follow him on Twitter. The handle is SUDPARIKH. Please go ahead.
Well, dear friends, right now everyone is talking and discussing about tariff war. Tariff is a kind of it's kind of a question of equality of the tariff from one nation to other nation. And I think with the tariff wall, you may see little high inflation in short term, but in long term, everything will get settled, and one should not get panicky about tariff wall, and just wait and watch how it rolls out. I mean, how it goes. Progresses and see what happens. But you don't have. I don't think there will be recession because economy is very good. Underlying economy in USA is very good, and large companies are doing great business, and their earning is fantastic. So I don't see any problem in the economy. So relax and just watch and enjoy your life. Thank you.